and we are back again. Another episode. You know, it's your guys at Frankly Football. Of course, I'm Brandon.
Yo, I'm setting it off Chris, man. Tick-tock, look at the clock. Your dudes is back, man.
You know it, man. And burning the midnight oil, as usual.
No doubt.
So, we got some new things going on. Well, more of the same, really. Of course, the Cowboys are heading into camp. They actually get into the pads this upcoming
You ready
Saturday.
for some football, baby?
Yeah, man. It's 5 weeks away, if I believe. 5 or 6.
That's it.
Okay.
Closer there, man. You can almost smell it, man. You can see the temperature changing, getting darker early. You kind of know football right around the corner.
Yes, sir. And so with camp comes, due to the times that we are in, increased risk of this whole COVID thing. Now,
absolutely.
Just today is August the 11th, we see the Dallas Cowboys players do something smart that I think that the rest of the league should follow up on. Adam Schefter tweeted today, and this is quote, "A large number of Dallas Cowboys are now forming their own virtual training camp bubble before on-field practices start Friday, and they will begin checking into the Omni Hotel next to the team's practice facility, league sources tell me and at Todd Archer." So these are the players making a conscientious decision to protect themselves. And this comes after the Cowboys now have 0 personnel on the reserve COVID list.
The Cowboys have a pretty much unique situation with them building the star the way they did. The star has the flexibility and the space for them to do everything they normally do. You got a lot of teams that go away. We know teams go out of town and places like that. So they don't have the ability to have everything confined in that space. So having, the hotel right there, which me and you had kind of talked about off air before, that was going to be the move anyway. Hey, guys start getting to the hotel, checking into the hotel for 3 to 4 weeks and go from there. And to be honest with you, this is what I kind of wanted him to always do.
Absolutely.
I understand everybody loves, going to Oxnard and it's cooler weather and things of that nature. But when you want to get down to business, go to work, and be about football and winning, this is what you do. You get away from everything and just focus on football. And I think this is the best thing in the world for them. So doing it beforehand to make sure they can protect themselves, to protect the season, outstanding on the mindset of the players to be, proactive, not to be reactive. I'm really excited about that.
Absolutely. Ever since the star was built, I felt like Oxnard was kind of a redundancy, just a distraction, really, because you got to think you have to sacrifice a day or two to go out there and a day or two to come back.
Oh, man, yeah, you're looking at 3-4 days of work that you can put in, a week worth of work that you can put in, but it boosts the visibility because you got Cowboy fans in California that want to see him, Cowboy fans in Arizona. You make people to the point they can fly out there. They've always made it to the point, it's cooler weather and you can work. Listen, you got a facility that you spend so much money on with the star, with the help of the people in Frisco, that you can get it all done in there and get the work you need to get done so you can get ready for the season to go win.
Yes, sir. Now, you mentioned how the Cowboys have the unique situation with the star, where everything being so compact, the hotel, the practice facility, etc. I think that, and this is in most cities, there may be a few outliers here and there. Green Bay is kind of one because their stadium is like smack dab in the middle of a neighborhood.
Right.
I think that most teams should follow that blueprint. They should rent an entire floor or two for their players and isolate them there while they are able to practice safely and, prevent any outside contaminants from getting in.
Well, that's what they do on game day. On game days, they usually try to have them, hey, you check into the hotel Friday night and you stay there, or Saturday night and you stay there so you can get right to the field. I think they already do that. But it's going to be something they're going to definitely have to do. And it's going to be imperative that teams keep their players safe and COVID-free as much as possible for the season to go off. Because you can't have, you can't have week 3 and your your starting quarterback goes down, he becomes positive. Now he's gone for 14. That's 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Can't have that. So
Absolutely.
it's gonna be, getting through camp is gonna be the big test to see how this is gonna go through the season. But once the season starts, how are we gonna isolate? Because the only way we've seen it work and to be successful is how the NBA has done it. And I don't think guys are gonna give up 4 months of their lives to sit inside, hey, I go to the game, I come straight back home, and I go into the hotel for a football season to make that happen. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yes, sir. That, and there's just multiple. There are exponentially wording is hard. More people in the NFL than the NBA.
Absolutely, far more people. You got, instead of 15 guys on a basketball team, you got 53 guys. 53 to 60, 53 to 60 guys. Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder. But them doing this shows their commitment. Them doing this shows their dedication to what they're trying to accomplish and do. It's just a great look for this team coming off of last year's huge disappointment, all the different things we've heard through the media from different players, through different outlets, all the people on YouTube are putting out great information about how this team was in such disarray last year and not unified and cohesive to accomplish what they want to accomplish. This gets you right on course. Hey, we're going to lock in. We're going to go ahead and make these the next best 4 weeks we can to get done what we need to get done so we can accomplish our ultimate goal, which is getting that 6th chip.
Absolutely. And this kind of goes into our next topic, talking about camp. Just 3 or 4 days ago, Mike McCarthy spoke to the media for, I would say the first big conference since they came into camp.
Yeah, big money Mike, he got to get out there, and it's a different vibe, a different feel. I've heard some people say, when he said it, it sounded believable. And I kind of go back to when Jason Garrett took the job and he was there, and it was, you just got tired of the whole hum. When Wade Phillips would come up, now I'm going to take it way back most may not remember. When Wade would get to the podium, Wade was ho hum, kind of good old boy type thing, and people got tired of that. You wanted assertive. You wanted sounded with authority. So when Jason came, Jason was like, yo, all I care about is Sunday, because Sunday's coming. When Sunday gets here, we got to be ready. Sunday's got to be prepared. And that year he went 5-3, and people were like, yeah, that's the kind of guy we need. And as time went on, Jason was ho-hum. Yeah. So
you needed to back up that talk.
Huh?
You needed to back up that talk.
Right. But what I'm saying, he went 5-3, and everybody was tired of the ho-hum from Wade. Yeah. Wade got you to 13-3. Wade got you to the divisional round. It was the biggest bust of all time at that time. No number one seed had lost ever in NFL history until Wade did it. We was already out on Wade. So when Wade started ho-humming and they played terrible that year, you wanted assertive. And Jason Garrett seemed like the assertive type of guy. That's who the guy you wanted halfway through the season, 5-3. Yo, that's going to be our coach. And as time went on, you got tired of the voice. Now this is just a different voice. I still think Mike is the guy because Mike, as well as his whole team, has so much to prove.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it before. Mike was a guy that got fired. And I don't know how many people out there that's going to be listening to this. If you've ever been fired, you know how it feels. You want to prove who fired you wrong.
Absolutely. Especially in a competitive environment. You want to be the one to not only beat your previous employer, but also be the best at it, in the entire, your entire sphere of influence.
Yeah. And not only that, he got fired. Think about it. He got fired, and the team that fired him went over to the NFC Championship. So he definitely got something stirring inside of him that he's going to come locked, cocked, and ready to go. But going off of his press conference, he raved about the different things that were going on with this team. He talked about how he saw Rain Dakota Prescott look.
Yeah.
And
you want me to quote him?
Go pull it, man.
All right. So this is early in the interview. He said and they were describing Dak's mindset. This is what Mike McCarthy saw. He said, "I really enjoyed his personality. He's very upbeat, very driven. So I would say he's picked up where he's left off based on what I've been told about him as far as how he operates, but very detailed in his preparation. He's a lot of fun to be around."
Right. So what that says to us going in is that it's two different things. One, he hadn't been around him, but
Mm-hmm.
two, he's not taking what other people said about him. I'm gonna see him for myself, and if it lines up with some of the things that what they've said about him, I'm gonna run with him. But I'm gonna see how he's prepared, how he's motivated, how he's driven. And Mike will understand how Rain is, because Rain is still betting on himself.
Yes,
He's
sir.
still betting on himself. He is still doing what he's done from high school into college and into pros, betting on himself, because nobody's still giving him that chance to believe that he is that guy. And that I want Rain Dakota Prescott like that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
On edge, ready to win, and doing what it takes to be the leader that he is.
Yeah, I think that Dak is one of those guys that responds well to pressure or adversity. So
Right.
if it's a situation where he's got his back against the wall, I trust him to succeed 10 times more than I would most
Man,
other guys.
that's it. That's it. And
So
go ahead.
speaking of Dak, we have a situation here where his now previous agent.
But hey, before you go there, B, let's
Yes.
finish a little bit more about Mike, because there's a
Okay.
couple different things I pulled from there.
Let's
I
run
took
it.
what he
Let's
talked
run it.
about, what he said with Rain,
Yes.
and then I want to go back to what he said about how the team looked with. He really didn't put a lot of specifics on player changing, because there was a question asked about, was Leighton Vander Esch going to the Mike? Was Chidobe Awuzie going to safety? I think he said some different things that kind of gave you understand that this defense is going to be like an amoeba, right?
Yes.
And so I'm gonna go back a little bit. Outside of football, I love basketball. I'm a Carolina fan, but one of my favorite teams of all time are the University of Nevada, Las Vegas running Rebels. When they had Larry Johnson, Moses Scurry, Stacey Augmon, and that defense was called the Amoeba. Yeah. And the thing about it, the Amoeba could transform into anything at any given time to handle different situations. So I think they're going to keep guys on the field who can do multiple things. I think when we look at hilarious laugh out loud, have you rolling on the floor, Clinton Dix, we have him. We know he's a great range guy, but he's kind of soft on the tackling. Yes. Whereas we know Chidobe is less of a range guy, but a solid tackler. Yes. So when you put them on the field, mix and match them with him and Xavier Woods, or mix and match him with my guy who's coming off the safety that's coming off that we had the safety we looked at last year. The one was on the practice squad.
Let's see, Donovan Wilson.
Come on, Donovan Wilson. You've got some mix and match pieces, so you can't lock into the certain guys. And then so when one guy goes down, you may lose a little bit of ranginess here, but you're gonna get better tackling. And so I think he kind of moved to the point. This thing is gonna be an amoeba this year, where you're not gonna. When we back in the day, we'd look at the GOAT Jeff Heath over here, and then look at Xavier. That's right, I said it. That's right. You are gonna. He is gonna be like Lou Rawls. You gonna miss Jeff Heath, man. Jeff Heath is gonna go down in my book as one of the most underrated players in Cowboys history. The GOAT did a lot of stuff, a lot of dirty stuff that most people don't remember, and they just keep remembering him getting housed by Megatron, which he should have gotten housed by Megatron.
Yeah.
Okay, so you expect that, but he's going to be able to do some different things to help cover up that which Jeff left open. The special team snaps are going to be filled in by other guys, and I don't think you're going to have guys as winded, tired, and beaten at secondary. And we're going to do the one thing we haven't done in Dallas in a long time, is take the ball away. And I think that's going to be big. So I think that's what he said about that.
I'm praying for some takeaways. Now, when you brought up the defensive scheme being an amoeba, form fitting to our opposition.
Yes.
I really like that on both sides of the ball, defense and offense, because it
Yes.
means that you're not predictable.
Right.
When speaking about that, McCarthy said, and I'm quoting him here, I
Right.
think the biggest thing we want to emphasize from a defensive philosophy is the ability to play matchup football.
Boom.
So if we can play to an opponent's strengths and or weaknesses, then that means that our defense isn't really going to be lackluster anyway. So for example, let's say a defensive player gives up the run a lot. A particular defensive end gives up the run a lot, especially on the right side. Talking about Robert Quinn there. But if we have those sort of situations, we have
Right.
contingency plans to make sure that we don't have a hole even behind him.
Right.
So let's use D-Law for an example. Let's say for some reason he regresses in the run in 2020. Hypothetically.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm like, what? Who? D-Law? Regress as a run defender?
Hey,
Which he's great at? No.
You got to humor me. You got to humor me.
Okay.
So let's
All
say
right.
he regresses. McCarthy and by extension Mike Nolan wants their guys to be able to pick up the slack of the other guys, make their defense complete, whole. So I really like that. So that way we don't have any situations where we're giving up, chunk plays to one particular thing that we can't seem to stop.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think they'll have the weaknesses that they've had in the past. Like, and we'll go back as we talked before in our earlier videos, and make sure you go back and look at them, like them,
Yes,
and
sir.
check them out. They won't have the deficiency in the middle that they've had, where you can run at them and say, okay, we can contain the nose tackle, the one, and be able to do what we got to do. Because all you got to do is, as football 1-on-1, and as the great Vaj Lamari says, you got block A and B gap, and contain the linebacker. You can run all day. You can do what you want to do. So you're not going to have that ability, with Dontari Poe, with Gerald McCoy, with Tristan Hill, and with Woods,
Yes.
Antoine Woods in the middle. You're not going to have that. You're not going to have that problem this year, because you're going to have a good steady rotation, and you're not going to have those guys there where they got to play so many snaps.
That's
I can
absolutely
keep
right.
Woods under 25, 30 snaps, mix a rotation of Tristan Hill, Neville Gallimore, 15, 20 snaps, and as a three technique. Everybody's fresh, everybody's banging, and I got people coming off the edge, and we're going to talk about those edge guys as well. With the defensive front will be better. When the defense front is better, the linebackers can run and flow, and that's when you got the Wolf Hunter, aka Leighton Vander Esch, doing his thing. You got Jalen, doing his thing, and that helps out everybody in the secondary. So it really flows. So I think, like you said, form fitting, the amoeba is going to work out great for him.
Yes, sir. Was there anything else that Coach McCarthy
and
said that
he talked about that, and I think the one thing I just like his tone of his interview. Like I said, his tone of his interview was right.
Yeah.
He kept it concise, and everybody was happy to see him. But he was about doing what was about winning, man. He was talking about winning football tactics. He was talking about the progression of Kellen Moore. That was the thing I liked too. Saying how Kellen was able to pick up things. He was very impressed with Kellen. And so you take a vintage football mind, not old, but vintage, got a lot of stuff in, with a young, innovative mind like Kellen Moore, and you mesh that together, man, like the mad scientist, man. And man, it can be nothing but just symmetry flowing with this team to help them continue to work on their ratio and move them into the place where they can be that football team we want to see them be.
I agree.
Especially
when it comes to coaches listening to one another, because Mike McCarthy has Kellen beat when it comes to the experience department. He's seen, so many different things. Kellen Moore has McCarthy beat in innovation.
Right.
Of course, it remains to be seen if McCarthy has advanced his game like he says he has. But Kellen's the new kid on the block.
Right.
He's trying to use new kid on the block strategies.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can combine their coaching philosophies, their ideas, then I think that'll give you the perfect blend of
Yeah.
of offense.
Hey man,
It's
listen,
like a well-made drink.
hey man, like a well-made drink, kind of like the Wonder Twins, you know what I'm saying? Remember back in the day of the Super
Yeah.
Friends, the Wonder Twins, it's a
Yeah.
form of a bald eagle, form
Yeah.
of a bucket of water. They just combine together and they just unstoppable, man. So I think that really helps out a lot.
Man, I'm really hoping a lot of our listeners understand the Wonder Twins
Hey
reference.
man, you know the one, man. You remember that Wonder Twin powers activate?
Yeah,
And
I
that's what they're
remember.
trying to do, man. That's what they're trying to do.
Hey, but I think that another thing that McCarthy does well is one thing that he said: the number one person who has the most things to learn is me.
Man.
He accepts that he does not know it all, and
Yeah.
he's willing to continue advancing.
Yeah.
That spoke volumes about what his intentions are in Dallas. He doesn't want to be a dictator per se. He still feels like he can learn a lot of things from his personnel.
Right. So you take a guy who's willing to humble himself so he can lead, and you got a group of guys that want what he has. Man, that's symmetry, man.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what you want, man. Everybody wants the same thing. He understands if I fall back and let these guys do their job and be great, but then I come in and I enhance what they're doing, then I can help these guys over here who everybody said they've got all the talent, they've got all the tools, they should win. Man, all you need, man, is to put pads on and let's go see this thing rock, man.
Yes, sir. And I can't wait for this weekend to see that.
No doubt. No doubt.
We had some other things that we were going to touch on after this, but I think this is a good stopping point for this particular video.
No doubt, man.
Have the people waiting for more.
No doubt. Yeah, got to give them savoring the meal to come, man.
Exactly.
Savoring the meal to come.
It's just an appetizer, right?
No doubt.
So we gonna bounce back with you next time. Thank y'all so much for listening. If you're watching this video, take a moment to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
And go back and watch some of our other videos. You may find something that you didn't know before. Who knows?
That's
and
right.
if you find something that you disagree on, let us know. Hit that comment section.
That's it. And we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. So, hey, this has been another episode of Frankly Football. I'm Brandon.
Hey, I'm setting off Chris.
Peace.
Peace.